Yeah, you're like beating him up.
No, it's both ways. Like he hit me and I hit him.
Who hit who first?
Of course it's him, but he's drunk. There's a difference.
Oh.
He's intoxicated and he don't recall any of that.
Men shouldn't be hitting women regardless, no? Even if like you're like hitting him, we're still women.
I mean, self-defense.
No, I'd say
self-defense.
Or why don't you just walk out of the room? So saying if a girl's hitting you, right?
If a girl slapped me in the face,
walk out of the room.
I mean,
why don't you just not hit men?
Yeah, you could just not hit.
I understand that, but if it does come down to it, because you guys are men, you know what I mean? If a girl hits you, we just walk out. Should we be doing that? Absolutely not. We should not be touching anybody.
Let me explain the fault in the logic here, so that
no, there's not.
At least from my okay, well, I'll prove it to you. If a man who's much weaker than another man punches the man who's much stronger than him, can the much stronger man punch him back?
But we're not talking about men against men.
Can you answer my question without pivoting?
So men and men?
Yeah, so if a much weaker man attacks a man who's much stronger than him, can the much stronger man go ahead and hit him back?
Can he? Yeah, but does that make him a better man? No.
No, but I mean, would you be okay if he did?
No.
No, so then basically what you're saying is that if you're stronger than somebody else and you get attacked, you just have to take it. That's the extension of that logic.
Well, if somebody's really strong and they get attacked, they pick and choose their battles because you're not going to be messing with them too much. They're going to pick and choose.
Well, I don't understand then. If it was the case, then what would you even be arguing? Because that would mean that
everybody's entitled to like their own things. You could say what you're saying. I would just rather a man on my end, right? If he's strong like that, to not hit somebody who's so weak when he could just walk away because he's going to eat that. It'll be like nothing. It'll be a tap on his shoulder. So it shouldn't really be a concern.
I mean,
now with the women, with the women and men.
All you're doing here is encouraging weak people to attack strong people.
I'm not encouraging that. I'm saying it shouldn't happen. But I'm saying I'm not encouraging that.
Because if there's no consequence, then it's an encouragement. It's like saying, okay, now if you run over and you're a weaker guy than a stronger guy and you punch him, then it's socially unacceptable for the stronger guy to punch the other guy back. How does that not incentivize the weaker men to punch the stronger men?
That's why it's like 3 strikes, you're out. The first time, we'll let it pass. The second time, the third time, forget about it.
Okay, so by the third time a woman strikes you, it's okay to punch her?
Or whatever. No. It's not okay for a woman to strike anybody. But if that situation happens and it's a man, he better walk out of the room.
Hang on, I'm not asking about whether or not it's okay for a woman or for the woman to strike the man.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. We're arguing about whether or not it's okay for a man to strike a woman back. So
absolutely
in this case, not. Yeah. So in this case, if you say a weaker man, if he attacks a stronger man 2 or 3 times, then it's okay for the stronger man to hit him back. Why would this not apply to women?
I think everybody.
What is it about having a vagina that specifically now makes it so that you can attack men? And that men can't attack you back. That's
I think where we're getting confused is that you're correlating them both together. It's a female and a male. Okay, this isn't a male and male thing, right? So these are 2 separate topics. Okay, a man and a man against the female and a male is 2 completely different topics.
Yeah, I don't see. They seem interrelated to me because all you're saying, the extension of both is the same. So I agree with you.
No, it's not.
Okay, hang on. I just let you explain your position. Let me explain mine. Okay, so I understand what you're saying. You're saying we're talking about men and men fighting here, not men and women, right? But what I'm doing is I'm giving you an analogy, and I'm saying, okay, but if it's okay in your worldview for weaker men who attack stronger men than them to be attacked back because now it's self-defense, what is the specific criteria that women have other than the fact that they have a vagina instead of a penis that exempts them from the same treatment? That's what I don't understand.
Can you lift more weight than me?
Yes. Well, probably, yeah.
Why?
I would assume.
Why?
Because physiologically I'm stronger than you.
Why?
Generally speaking, because I'm a male.
There you go. I think.
Yeah, but that doesn't make your point. That makes.
I know it's okay. I think I made my point. We're good.
I feel like.
No, we're not good
like
because,
I'm okay.
Because
I feel like a woman
I don't even think
should
you
hit a
understand
man.
what I just said.
I think no one should hit anybody. No, women should not hit men. They really should.
No, I
should
feel
not
like
hit men.
if a woman hits a man, then the man
Okay,
can hit
stop,
her back.
lady,
No, for real.
let us finish the conversation. Calm down. So back to this combo here. Okay, you actually didn't make a point. You just said you're stronger than me because you're a man. Great. Do you agree with me that there's other? Okay, great. Do you think that there's other men who are not as strong as me who are also men?
You know what? I think I made my point already. I'm good.
Can I say something?
I think I'm not good, and I need you to make this clear for me. So,
Can I say something?
Wait, let her answer.
Can we finish our conversation just calm down? Let us finish our conversation.
Oh, no, we're calm. I'm having fun.
Yeah, so, well, understand from my perspective, there's 15 people cutting in, and I only have the one earpiece, so I have to try to delineate between who's talking. So
Got it.
that's why I'm just asking for one at a time. So wouldn't you agree with me, though, that by the same logic, there are still men who are also weaker than me, right?
I don't get what that has to do with the
Can you
woman
answer
and
the
men
question?
situation.
Just like remember
Yes,
how I
there's men
answered
that are
yours
weaker than you.
correctly?
That's fine. That's not something hard to understand. There's going to be.
So if they are and they
It's
attack
okay.
me,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, if they are and they attack me, and it's okay for me to defend myself against them,
Mm-hmm.
then why exactly would it be not okay for me to defend myself against a female who had the same strength level as that man?
I guess that's something for you to try to think about, because that's easy one for me.
Okay. I don't even know where to go with that. Like,
Wait, did you get an answer, or do you want to?
well, she just said that's for me to think about or something.
Oh.
She didn't really answer it.
Well, you're saying that there's weaker men, there's weaker and stronger men, correct? So if a weaker person was to hit you, and you're saying that you're stronger, correct? So if this weaker person's hit, as hard as he could hit, might only be a touch to you. Your hit is going to be way, way more drastic, correct?
Yeah.
So what else do you have to have me explain to you?
Yeah, well, the extension of your logic is that essentially, if weaker people attack you, you're not allowed to defend yourself against them.
I didn't say that they're not
stronger than
allowed.
them.
I said that there's other things that they could do.
Yeah, but you know how you discourage weak people from attacking people who are stronger than them?
They're weak. I'm stronger than them, so I really wouldn't be worried about that.
Yeah, but you know how you discourage that from happening?
I want to discourage the stronger people from attacking me, not the weak ones. I'm not worried
Yeah,
about
but
that.
the stronger ones in this scenario are not attacking you. That's
All
not
right, so
what's
with the
happening.
weak
They're
ones
being attacked,
that
right?
are attacking me, I would tell them first as a warning, stop, because it's not going to be fun the next time. The second
Yep.
time it happens, I'm probably not going for strike three. The second time is
Okay,
probably
so then
I'll hit back.
wouldn't you draw the? Okay, that's fair.
Fair?
So wouldn't you just draw the same extension with men and women? The first time
Absolutely
the
not.
woman attacks the man, fine. The second time the woman attacks the man, he's not going to go for time number 3, right?
A man should never hit
That
a
makes
woman
sense.
unless
Yeah,
it's
but
a
why?
dire thing.
I don't get that. That makes no sense to me.
Walk out of the room. Which would you rather? Would it make you feel better to hit back a woman, or would it make you feel better to leave and not have anything else escalate?
You can't. First of all, I don't know why you're under the impression that you can always just leave. In
That's
a
true. You're right.
confrontation like
Absolutely.
this.
You're absolutely correct.
You know?
I believe. I
You can't-
agree.
Yeah, you can't always leave in a confrontation like that. And if a woman is attacking you and you can't leave, what is the problem
I
with
agree.
hitting her back? Like,
You
I don't actually understand that.
Or how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 40.
For a 40-year-old man to say, what is the problem with hitting her back? I think that's what this generation's lacking, no?
Okay, well, for 30,
which
how old are you?
generation?
37?
Or I'm 20,
Which-
I'm 30,
which
I'm 32.
generation?
Or the one that I'm in now, because I'm dealing with 40-year-old men like this.
What
This
do
is
you-
why
Yeah,
I'm not dating
aren't you in your
people.
30s?
As a woman, 32 years old, should I be
Yeah.
hearing you, 40 years old, saying it's okay to hit
Speaking
you?
straight into the mic.
It's okay to hit me just because I hit you? Because
Yes.
should I eat
If you
that?
want to be logically consistent, what you would say is
I would never
if
eat
a
that.
If a person attacks another person, they're asking to get hit.
Now,
Yes.
a woman on woman, yeah.
No, regardless, why suddenly is there some type of exemption that women get because they have a vagina if they attack a person? Because the person is stronger, that gives them exemption.
Because everyone has free will. Free will. So if your free will wants you to hit her back,
he's free to punch you back.
if your free will wants to hit a woman back, that's on you. But with my free will, if I was a man who's 40 years old and my girlfriend hit me, right, 32, and I could walk away, I'm walking away. Because that's what a better
Yeah, but I
man
mean, if I was
does.
a woman who was 32, I would be advocating that we didn't have a social system set up where strong people felt like they couldn't protect themselves because women were going to try to shame
Strong
them for
people
doing it.
know.
That's insane.
Strong people know that they can protect themselves.
Yeah, and you know how they do it? They usually punch people who attack them. That's how
That's
they do
not
it.
a strong person.
That's how they do that.
Thank you.
That's not a
JJ.
strong person.
Thank you, JJ.
It's a very weak one.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know how you would ever demonstrate that. It's okay
Restraint.
to just allow people to attack others, and somehow, because they're stronger than them, they're not allowed to defend themselves. That's crazy.
Hey, Andrew, I think it'd be interesting to just hear the other panelists' perspective on this. So, like, what do you guys think? Do you think...
No, I have a question
what do you guys
for
think?
him.
I think it's okay for a man to hit back.
Here, before we get to your question, what's your perspective on this?
I know my answer will be based on his answer because I have a question.
Okay, well,
I have a
hold
question
on
for
to
him.
your question really quick.
Why do you need to know my position and know your position?
Because I want to see, and then if you can argue this properly, then I will.
Okay, hold on. I'll let this come through, then we'll get to it.
Knight donated $200.
Thank you, Knight. Appreciate it.
Scenario: insufferable woman doesn't like a guy disagreeing with her, so she hits him, and then he must leave the room, right? She gets her way by hitting him. Men should be allowed to defend themselves.
Yeah, it's just socially encouraging that if weak people want a thing, they can attack other people with basically no consequences. That, I think it's silly.
Knight, thank you for the TTS, man. Appreciate it. Okay, so your thoughts on this, then I'll let you ask the question, okay?
I need to ask.
Okay, just ask the question then, but make it quick, please.
Okay, so since you're using men logic, women, men, whatever. So if a 10-year-old child came up and slapped you in the face, would you punch the child back in the face?
10-year-old children don't have complete agency.
They they know what they're doing. If he's
hey, stop. Let him talk. Let him talk.
Trying to answer your question. The answer is no, because a person doesn't have complete agency. Just like I may advocate if somebody was like literally retarded, for instance, right? And they were attacking you unless they were super physically strong. You wouldn't have a choice in that instance, right? But they don't have agency. They don't know what they're doing. So in that particular case, you have to draw into intent, right? Women who have agency, who physically attack you on purpose, right, are trying to do harm to you, damage to you, same as if men do it. So when we draw up self-defense, no, wouldn't do it to a 10-year-old. But I can tell you this, right? I think that a good father might, I don't know, take the 10-year-old and give him a good spanking, right? Be like, don't do that again. That seems reasonable to me.
A 10-year-old can feel emotions, feel they're angry and they're attacking you. They could come at you with a knife. They could almost kill you if they have a knife in their hand. So are you going to punch them?
And if they had a weapon or they had something like that and you had to accelerate the use of force, sure. But that's a different argument. So you're still taking into account they don't have agency, but you have to balance that with self-protection.
What age is the draw line for you? Like 23 and 32?
18, the same age that I would give any woman agency.
So 17 and 364 days, you'd be like, nah.
I'd him up.
You'd be like, nah,
Yeah, well,
17 and 364 days, let me wait a day.
So here's the thing, you're doing some hair splitting, right? But I'll do the hair splitting with you.
Okay.
Right? So what you're doing is you're making what's called a continuum fallacy. So what you're saying is, when does this person have agency, Andrew? Well, I don't know, it'd be case by case, right? But we've decided unilaterally that it's going to be 18 in this nation because most people at 18 seem to have some sort of agency. They seem to be able to make informed decisions for themselves. So we make it 18 years old. Now,
America?
if you're saying, well, what about, would this person deserve it at like 17 and 361 days? Yeah, possibly, though you might be judging the law different. I may not make a moral judgment against you, though. If a 17-year-old who is 17 and 300 days attacks somebody else and got their asses kicked for doing it, I don't think I would hold it against them morally. I just think that you would have a lawful violation at that point.
Okay, but 18 is the age of consent for, let's say, sex. 21 is for drinking. 25 is for renting a car. The cerebral cortex isn't fully developed until 25.
No, it's not
Erroneous.
the cerebral cortex. First of all,
how come 18 is your
stop.
draw
It's
line?
not the cerebral cortex. You're talking about the prefrontal lobe.
Okay,
Get
whatever.
your terminology.
Okay, it's not developed until 25. So
It is
why
developed before it's 25. Of course, it is.
fully
Ridiculous.
developed?
Also, just so you know, the prefrontal cortex begins to degrade after 25.
So-
which means that a 25-year-old would be if they were at like peak observational intelligence, and at 30 they should have less. So the 25-year-old attacking the 30-year-old would actually put the 30-year-old disadvantage, right?
Okay, so now that you brought that up, since you put the limit at 18, how about if a 90-year-old's hitting you? They know what they're doing. Their cortex is all developed, or frontal lobe, or whatever you want to say.
How old? 9?
90.
Oh, 90.
Where do you draw the line up there? Because it's like, obviously you realize if this person is weak, this person is weaker than me.
Yeah, I think
I'm not going to hit them back.
So here, I'm going to give you my moral judgment on this. If a 70-year-old man walks over and hits a guy with his cane, he gets knocked the out. That's what you get. Don't go over and hit people with your cane. Like, what do you want me to say?
If a 90-year-old
do you think like
did not have a weapon,
I want you to think about the flip side to this, right? So if a 70-year-old, let's say that a 70-year-old was attacking a 15-year-old, who do we side with then?
That's up to you, because I would go with whoever's stronger. Whoever's stronger should walk away.
Both of them don't have agency.
Why are you talking so loud? Calm down a little bit.
According to you, right? Now both of them don't have an agency. So now it's a 14-year-old, let's say, and a 75-year-old.
No,
right? And
I never said they didn't have
Wait.
It's stop. Let me ask the question.
You got to let him. You can't interrupt him.
No, but he keeps interrupting me.
Yeah, but you got to let him talk. Okay?
Why do I got to let him talk if he interrupted me first?
Because you're asking him questions. You're asking him. Here, look, you're asking him questions.
I didn't finish him asking the
Now you're interrupting me. Look, if you ask him a question, you got to let him answer. Go ahead, Andrew.
I didn't finish asking him the question, though.
Yes, you did.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do. You go ahead and finish asking the question, and then I'll go ahead and talk. Go ahead.
Thank you. That's all I want, to talk like adults. But I don't know if your cortex or frontal lobe is
Just
developed.
ask the question.